rule number 1, don't just become rich, stay rich. Many people become rich, but later fall back into poverty. Do you know why? Because they don't have a safety net, no backup plan. Even when a car has 4 brand new tires, the company still provides a spare tire. Why? So that if a tire bursts in the middle of the road, you have a backup. You must always have some kind of safety support to face unexpected difficulties. Otherwise, you might get stuck in the middle of the road post-T in life. Let me explain this in another way. The Titanic, SA, the ship once believed to be unsinkable, SAA, what happened to it? When it collided with an iceberg, water started to flood in. People desperately needed safety boats to escape, but they were overconfident. They believed the ship would never sink, and due to that carelessness, 1,500 people died. They had no backup plan. Ladies and gentlemen, anything can happen at any time. Take the city of Pompeii in Italy, for example. It was one of the wealthiest and most prosperous cities of its time. The residents never imagined that just 24 kilometers away, a volcano was simmering to Mount Vesuvius. One day, when it finally erupted, it wiped out the entire city and its people in an instant. Everyone was living in ignorance mode, thinking, Atreus, 24 kilometers is far, nothing will happen. And then everything vanished in a moment. Or consider 9/11's Site Oz on September 11th, 2001. Yes, the people sitting and working inside the World Trade Center. Buildings, never. Imagine that it would be the last day of their lives. Why am I telling you all of this? Because I want to explain something very important. Don't just become rich, stay rich. Because anything can happen in life at any time. That's why you must always have a backup plan for your full-time income. Many people live in an ignorance mode thinking nothing bad will ever happen. But the truth is you can't stop a storm from coming but you can build a shelter in advance. Don't buy what you can buy. Don't buy only what you can afford. A rich person spends according to their income, while a poor person spends according to their desires. Despite having immense wealth, Shah Rukh Khan has never bought a private jet. Why? Because whenever he had the money, my sate, and yes, he's had it many times, I say it, he still chose not to buy one. And every time he chose to invest to not indulge. On the other hand, when a middle-class guy lands a tactus el months job, he instantly puts a down payment to buy the latest. iPhone paying a monthly of betters keine diats. This is the biggest difference between the mindset of the rich and the poor. Shah Rukh knows that while he has the money to buy a plane, that doesn't mean he can afford it. Not without consequences or trade-offs. That's why he may buy Excite Rolls Royce, but not a private jet. A poor person, however, doesn't think in terms of affordability. He only thinks, can I buy it right now? Not, can I sustain it without risk? That's the difference between wealth and wisdom. Live within your means. That's why the rich stay rich. People who consider a 6% item out of their budget are the ones who eventually become rich. So whenever you're about to make a purchase, don't ask, can I buy this? Ask, can I afford this without hurting my future? Let me tell you a story. In 1920, the country of Venezuela struck oil. By 1960, Venezuela became incredibly wealthy. So wealthy that products were sold cheaper than their production cost. Why? Because the government gave heavy subsidies on everything. People lived luxuriously. But by the 1980s, oil income started to drop to maintain the same lifestyle. The government borrowed money, but soon they couldn't repay the loans. Inflation skyrocketed. The economy collapsed. And today, 1 Indian rupee is equal to 4.5 lakh Venezuelan bolivares. How Norway got rich and Venezuela got ruined. Venezuela, once one of the richest countries, is now dependent on foreign aid. On the other hand, in 1969, another country discovered oil, Norway today. Norway is among the wealthiest and most prosperous nations in the world. Its GDP is stronger than both UAE and even America, all because of oil. But wait, didn't Venezuela have oil too? Yes. So why did Venezuela collapse while Norway thrived? The answer is simple: saving. The power of saving and smart investing. A few years after discovering oil, the Norwegian government realized these oil revenues won't last forever, so they decided to save a major portion of the oil income. They created a fund called the Norwegian Sovereign Fund. Instead of spending the oil wealth blindly, they invested it. They put that fund into global investments, companies like Apple, Nestle, Microsoft, Samsung, across 72 countries. They invested $300 million, and slowly that grew untoday. So that fund is worth $1.3 trillion. Compare that to Pakistan's entire GDP, which is only $307 billions. Don't just save, learn to invest. Saving alone won't make you rich. You must invest your money wisely. Just like a magnet loses its power in a box, money locked in a locker loses its power to multiply. The richest role: take the right opportunity at the right time. After saving and investing, the next rule to becoming rich is this: learn to seize opportunities. If you get a full toss ball, you should know how to hit a 6. People who understand real estate know this well. Rich people know when to strike.